What's up, Union Arena players? This is Kyle D, better known as Unionversity, for none other than the meta breakdown from the Egman event. So we're going to talk of the top 16 and everything else. So without further ado, let's get in the video and talk about it. So first off, let's take a look at all the lists. So in the top 16, we had 7 Kurapikas, 3 Ichigo, 2 Yellow Bleach, 2 Toshi, 1 Renji Rush, and 1 Blue Bomber, which is a standout for Blue Bombers to even get close to the top 16, which is fantastic work. That comes down to really knowing your deck and being very skilled pilot with it, but a full breakdown of it is 35 Purple Bleaches, 32 Green Hunter X Hunters, 17 Yellow Bleach, 17 Green Bleach, 13 Purple Hunter X Hunters, and 10 Blue Hunter X Hunters. This could get crazy to even breaking down further, but kind of cool to see where the standings are. First off, we had Toshiro taking first, then Kurapika Renji, Kurapika Gon, Kurapika Toshi, Purple Ichigo. That basically rounds off the 6 ones in the top 8, but the 5 twos, Blue Bombers, Purple Ichigo, Yellow Bleach, Kurapika, Yellow Bleach, Purple Ichigo, Kurapika. So it's just very commonplace that, again, paired to his last event, let's even go there. There wasn't as many players in comparison. His Win a CC event was what, 60 players with small hiccups and everything like that. But Purple Bleach definitely taking the dominant top 8, and they didn't really show the top 16 to show more data, which they should have, but it's just good to see the data here. Comparison wise, it definitely changed up to being more Kurapika in the higher level seeds than anything else. So let's take a look at the book. This is the first place list. If you guys don't know what's going on with the list, it is a list that caps out at 4. So what does that mean by 4? So energy max you're gonna ever use is 4 energy, and then basically you're spamming the board as fast as possible to build up. You use Yachiro to unsuspend your Kapachis and Zarakis, which is a fantastic play, but as you can tell, there is no Unohanas in the list. This was a choice because you want to play lower to the ground, which is not a bad trade-off, especially with the Yachiros. Plus Kenpachi play means you can, at least for your 3 energy, retire something if you have the 6 board, and then Yachiro can restand, bringing you to an extremely scary match. So you're basically walking around with Kenpachi that can kill any 4Ks, and then Daigirin being able to kill the 5Ks. And then you have Toshi being also a very much annoying card because a Toshi can lock down some plays as well. So you have really powerful big threats that your opponent has to answer. And it's kind of cool to see where they're going with it. Very unique list as well. But then we get into Kurapika. If you guys haven't noticed, that Melody is starting to make its way in because of its trigger ability, but because of its generation in the front line. This ability allowed players to be able to play in a unique way and gain them resources that they needed. And what do I mean by this? This now freed up their back line a little bit because Melody can generate in the front line, allowing you to kind of just have that 6 energy, and then with 1 Melody in the front, brings you to the magic 7, because again, one of the biggest things about Kurapika is eventually the energy resources kind of get super tight, and then it kind of just sucks when you're dealing with it. Then we do got the raidless Bleach. As everybody knows, this is kind of just very commonplace, is that it wants to use, and you're starting to notice something, and I'm going to be straight honest with you, is decks are starting to lean more and more to always having a trigger ability. This list alone only has 7 cards that will not trigger in the security, or whatever it is called, the life zone. So that is huge information, because now you're having more and more consistency of things going off when somebody hits you and tries to win the game. So this now being removing a lot of the vanilla, now you have some guarantee way of doing something. I mean, Renji can be argued that the activate unsuspend shenanigans isn't always going to go off, but it's good to know. But if you guys don't know what Raidless Bleach does at this point, it's just basically taking advantage of throwing 4Ks at the wall, and as long as you can keep pushing pressure, your opponent's going to fall behind. Then we do have the surprise whoops all triggers kind of deck as well, and another situation where I was mentioning caps out at 6 cards of trigger effects. Actually, nope, goes to 8 max of the non-trigger effects, then the rest are doing something. This deck is quite fun to look and play. This deck has a lot of players. This topped in JP, and that was because they finally got access to their Kurapika promo, and we had it from the start. But water deviation, just be able to help you search, you know, Emperor's Time Magic, absolute mastery, and then, you know, Kurapika being Kurapika. And with Gon being another impactor, this leads you to 4, 8, 12, 15 impact threats. Really puts a clock on your opponent sometimes, and it's kind of cool to see where they're going with it. And hopefully this list does well more and more. Melody seems to be coming into Kurapika's list here to stay. Then we do have a more generic Kurapika list with 2 Hisokas, but playing water deviation at a full playset. If you guys don't know what it does, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, place any number of them at the top of your deck in any order, then place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. So before you want to do your neon, you can definitely take a look at your top a little bit and kind of manipulate and help neon hit something better, which is never bad. So it's another way of continuing plays. Who knows? Maybe water deviation is the way to go, and just what we want to do. Then we do have another Kurapika list here. This is more stock. This is kind of what you expect. The 2 Hisokas, and then everything else is just kind of in this list is just generic. But it seems like players are starting to play more and more of the promo Kurapika just because impact is impact. At 3000 DP, it's still going to do some damage. And especially if you combo it with absolute time mastery, now this 3K becomes a whopping 6K that's going to be able to kill anything on board. Then we do have another low to the ground green bleach Toshi deck. So they are using the Rangiku just because of that step. Early aggression sometimes is all you kind of need, and then she just steps right back into the energy line where you need her to be. So I think this is a smart play at the end of the day. I might have to test out Rangiku myself. I'm not testing her just yet. I'm testing out the Impact Negator. That might actually I might bring in Rangiku just to test out. I think we might have to test her out from here. But I think really solid list. Again, Kenpachi Yachiru is just a really good combo. Sanjin plus Shinji is always great as well. So just stuff like that. Then we do have basically this is a more traditional Bleach deck where you kind of feel like you're playing the game a little bit more naturally, and again, very powerful skills across the board. Orihime is not as favored in this because, again, it's great to open up Orihime plus Oryu in the beginning, but after a while, after she's done it once, she's not as valued as you want her to be. She kind of just clogs up your hand. Yes, you'll just be tossing her to side for effects, but you know, you want to have more impact as the game gets later and later. So Orihime being cut down to 2, and some lists even just removing her at all, is just showing signs of the time. Now here's the bomber list. If you guys don't really know what bombers do, bombers is just basically trying to using Barbar here to lower your opponent's character, as long as you have a reveal card of 2 AP or more, which this deck barely plays any low ends. You know, you do have the normal stocks, what you're going to be seeing, but playing enough 2 or more shenanigans is very vital. And I like that they're using Strip of Beach to kind of just continue plays and go on from there. Then we do have another raidless Bleach. I think this is raidless. It looks very raidless style. It could be wrong, but they are using the research and development. A lot of players will stand by this card by the miles, but I don't know. I have to test out the research and development myself, but they're playing 3 Orihime, 3 Oryus, 3 Rukias, only 2 Rukia here. It's kind of all over the place, but the tech of the day is the Renji 2 cost to minus 3000 DP something. I mean, it's possible. It could be a great card, but we'll have to see if that actually sticks around. Then we're getting into Yellow Bleach. If you guys don't know, this is another kind of raidless style deck where you kind of just apply pressure with your Basbys and then basically only raid your Asnaughts and Jugurums when it is time to finish game out, because they all have raid impact, which is vitally strong. You want to have these skills, so this actually helps out the long term. Then we do have another 4 of Water Deviation. Seems like people are on that deviation kick, and it's not a bad choice, especially because you fundamentally are trying to do neon shenanigans or trying to get your raid Kurapika as soon as possible. This definitely helps out. Then another Yellow Bleach, the same thing. They're just kind of just Jugurum, Asnaught, Basby. Your watch, well, Yuhabaha is basically just doing what he wants to do. Then we got another raidless Bleach situation, because this is definitely raidless Bleach. I mean, it is playing Rukia, so this could just be normal Bleach. It's really confusing when they do this with the Renjis, but they're just being aggressive and just applying pressure. Then we do have a Leorio tech in with 3 Hisokas and 2 of the 2-drop Kurapikas with 1 melody. And no deviation, which is kind of cool. And then another double Leorio plus Hisoka plus Hanzo. Kind of very tight space if you guys are trying to fit all this in. It's kind of crazy to me. But hey, if it works for you, it works for you, right? But, you know, one card's going to draw you if they don't block. The other one's when it's forced to... When it battles something, you draw a card. And then this one is just basically, I'm going to get big, or I'm going to deal 2 damage. Your choice. But all in all, that is all the cool deck lists you're going to see. And hopefully there's a lot more events coming from Egman. It was a fun event. I think the only gripe I have personally against the event was I don't think entry to prizing was equaled out, in my opinion. But that could be that I don't know how much he sells his other products for and what his full-on event pricing was scaling. But for just 3 boxes of JJK in a pool, I don't know. I think with 124 players, the pricing should have been upscaled a lot more, but that is just me. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Great video, I think, with Egman. He does a great job. Definitely check it out. Links down below to the channel of this information for you guys to use. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.